there, and welcome to the Animag podcast.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to Animag, the #1 anime podcast on the planet, according to the Wabamelon Army Discord. I'm your host, Asylum, sitting here with...
The fuck was that supposed to mean? What? But anyway, Domicus.
What, man?
Bringing my fucking Discord into the podcast.
Yeah, the Wabamelon Army Discord. We've been ranked the #1 podcast in the world, according to them.
Oh my god.
Facts. We're back talking Rent a Girlfriend. Pretty good episode. I don't particularly care for the fact that it was majority Ruka based, but you know, you have to endure the pain, I guess.
The beginning was nice, but I didn't like Ruka.
I'm not gonna lie. The beginning was fire. Mommy spit some hot fucking facts to our boy Kazuya's face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, so far this season, it's got me slightly thinking that Mommy is acting normal. But honestly, that's clearly not the case, because after the big classroom scene where she was kind of telling Kazuya a bunch of shit, she walks out and she's like, oh, this motherfucker's just straight up lying to me. So she is definitely on to something. She's got a plan. She's being devious, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm so curious. I want to know what she's doing.
Who knows what would happen if he would actually tell her the truth?
I mean, she's gonna freak out, but she's not his girlfriend anymore, so like, who cares? Just tell her.
Ruka's not even his girlfriend.
Ruka is his girlfriend. He agreed to that shit. Now he wants to act like he doesn't care about it and brushes it off every time she says it, but he agreed that she could be his girlfriend. So we'll dive into that when we get to the apartment scene, but I kind of want to dissect this classroom scene first. It was Mommy and Kazuya sitting in like an empty college classroom, and essentially, to cut it completely short, it's Mommy saying that she knows Chizuru is a rent-a-girlfriend and she wanted to be transparent with Kazuya and tell him. But remember, Kazuya already knew that Mommy knew Chizuru was a rent-a-girlfriend because he saw those two girls have an interaction. She mentions that it's pretty much why she had went to his place the night before. She was gonna tell him like, look, I know what Chizuru is. That kind of clears up the confusion where we thought she was stalking, and then we were like, oh, she was just in the neighborhood and wanted to pop by, but she was definitely going there with an agenda. She was going to tell him all this to his face. But it's a kind of a good thing that when she went, she didn't see Kazuya and Chizuru together in his apartment, because with her mindset, okay, she knows that Chizuru's a rent-a-girlfriend, and she knows that Kazuya's having to pay to go on dates with Chizuru. Okay, now she sees them in his apartment. That makes this girl look like a fucking hooker. I'm kind of happy that she didn't see them together. This whole interaction ends with Mommy saying, look, you're wasting your time, you're wasting your life on this one girl that you're having to pay for. You need to get a real girlfriend, you need to stop faking it with Chizuru, because you're going to end up missing out on a whole lot. And she even goes so far as to say that she's not belittling Chizuru's work, and he needs to understand that at the end of the day, it is only just business with Chizuru. It's never going to be anything more than that. And to me, that was kind of a very wholesome interaction coming from the girl that we all deemed crazy. But she walks out of the classroom and then she's like, why is this motherfucker lying to me? Very curious about that agenda again. But even Kazuya kind of got shocked about this situation, because like he falls over in the chair and he's like, why was she so nice about this? He was like, man, I thought she was gonna chew me out.
I also liked the part where she was like, is in the whole rent-a-girlfriend thing my doing of what I did to you?
Right. Honestly, it is. That's the whole reason that he started renting Chizuru, was to make her jealous. But he's just like, no. This is
research.
She walks out the classroom. She's like, research for a year and a half, my ass. And unfortunately for this episode, that's the only real good part of it, because from here on out, we're stuck with Ruka for the rest of the episode.
I only took notes for when they were in the apartment, nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, like, the Mommy situation was kind of important, but...
I took notes on the Mommy situation.
The
But, like,
Ruka
going to
sleepover
the
part's
store.
just, yeah. I didn't take too much notes on the store. Basically,
Yeah, it's just,
like, yeah, she's getting ingredients to cook a nasty ass turtle curry. Which, first of all, I've never even heard of a turtle curry. What the fuck?
apparently Kazuya hasn't heard of that.
Yeah, he had to look it up. So, like we said in this episode, she's going to be going over to Kazuya's for a sleepover. At least at this point in her mind, she was going over for a sleepover. Okay. And I'll dissect what I mean by that a little later. And she wanted to cook them that turtle curry, whatever. So they go get the ingredients for it. And as she's cooking, she's kind of doing like cute girlfriend things. She's bringing Kazuya a beer, obviously trying to get him drunk. Because here we go. Before I dive further into this, she went to this man's apartment with an agenda. She knew what she was going there to do. I'll just say that much.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, the first time, cool. It was funny, but then, like, it just kept on, and I was just like, okay, I'm getting kind of tired of this.
She went in there trying too hard, honestly. I think Kazuya actually might have said that at a point, like, man, she's coming on way too strong today. So, you know, she's cooking the curry. She's trying to give him a beer. He's like, nah, I don't want to have a beer. Been partying too much lately, but I feel like he just didn't want to get drunk because we all know our boy would have lost his mind and probably smashed. So Ruka's like, yeah, sure. And then instead of putting the beer back in the fridge, she pours it into the pot of the curry that she's cooking because she's like, oh, I forgot to get cooking wine.
Did you know what you was doing?
She's trying to get this man wasted. So Kazuya walks up. He notices this, right? He notices her pouring the beer into the curry. He sees that she had a recipe for it written down on a notepad. So he looks it up to see if this is actually a real thing. And he's like, oh, it is real curry. Okay. And one thing that I noticed right here that's going to come back into play later is that he's still using the phone case that Chizuru bought him. This comes back into play a little bit later, but I felt it was notable to point it out. Also to point out that his phone was fucking cracked from hell, like his screen. What's this man doing with his fucking phone? So as they're eating the curry, Kazuya's like, wow, this is some great curry. And they eat, they start watching a show together. Kazuya notices that she has a little more cleavage showing than normal, which is kind of true. She was kind of a little more slutty. Yeah, a little more slutty while at his house for this whole quote unquote sleepover. He starts to think in his head how they went shopping together, they cooked dinner together, they ate, and now they're watching a show all without having to spend any money. You know, it's not a rental date. This is just a regular date. And he's kind of just daydreaming about this to himself and thinking about how nice it would be to have a real girlfriend. And he's like crying a tear.
And
but
then he's like, oh, multiple times of sex.
Yeah, we could have had sex about 7 times by now. Like, bro, you're with Ruka, first of all. We all know what she's there for. Just ask her. Just ask her. He kind of snaps out of his daydreaming about this and he notices that she's texting someone. And she's being weird about it. She's got her back turned to him, just trying to hide it. He looks over her shoulder and sees that she's texting her mom. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to be staying the night here at Kazuya's. And he freaks out. Ruka's like, what's the big deal? I let you go on dates with Chizuru all the time. I want to have some lovey-dovey time with you as well. All the while, she was kind of like getting up to walk out to leave. I assume it's because she got embarrassed by this whole situation. Then, as the door opens, it is fucking storming, okay? So Kazuya's like, how can this be? How the fuck can this be? Puts on the news to see that there's a Category 5 typhoon happening. And this got me thinking, I am almost certain that Ruka planned all of this out. I think she planned it perfectly. She knew that this was going to happen. So she went over on that specific night because she knew Kazuya wouldn't put her out in a Category 5 typhoon. And she also knew that the trains quit running during that bad of a storm, essentially making her stranded at his place. I believe that she's that crazy.
And y'all say mommy's crazy.
No. I mean, mommy is crazy, but I think Ruka
is way crazy.
I hope I'm not alone in thinking that she definitely planned this out perfectly. Cause like, it's not like a Category 5 typhoon just pops up out of nowheres, right? They're gonna be tracking it. It's essentially like a hurricane, I guess. So you're gonna know weeks in advance if this is gonna happen. She knew that it was gonna hit on that night, and that's why she said, hey, let me cook for you on this night. That is batshit crazy to me. In his situation, quite honestly, I would have smashed, but not because, you know, I like Ruka or anything like that. Like, obviously she's into it. She's okay with doing it. Then I'm doing it, but it would have all been to be as loud as I possibly could so Chizuru hears, in hopes that she would get jealous. And then the next day when Ruka leaves, Chizuru walks over and fucks my brains out. Just saying. Cause here's the thing, okay? Real life story time. I lived in some apartments with a girl, right? And our work friend Sydney lived next door. Ask Sydney next time you see him how many times this man heard me smashing. Apartment walls are very thin, so all this man had to do was just run it through and make Chizuru jealous. Obviously, Ruka is stranded at this man's house, so she goes take a shower. Not the shower scene I've been waiting for, but whatever, it's still a shower scene. And after her shower, she's in like a really natural state. We don't get to, I think this is the first time we've ever seen her like this, right? She's got one of Kazuya's shirts on and just a shirt.
Yeah.
No pants, panties. Her hair's tied back. She's got no makeup on. This is a really raw version of Ruka. Kazuya's like, oh, she's got no pants on. She should be wearing these fucking pants I left in the bathroom. And as they're talking, Kazuya like puts his hand over her mouth and he's like, keep it down because the girl next door will hear you. And this upsets Ruka because she's like, even at this point, even with me basically half naked in his house, he's still thinking about Chizuru. And this scene had me like guttural laughing because it was so funny. Ruka's like laying down on Kazuya's bed and he's on top of her. And she's basically like, okay, I understand. I'll respect everyone around here because I'm one step ahead of Chizuru anyways because I'm spending the night at your house. And then she yells, I swear! Kazuya like throws her down and like puts his hands over her mouth. And he's like, seriously, stop it. She's tapping his arms. And this happens a couple more times throughout this dialogue scene here. And I was fucking dying. She's like, I won't do it no more. I promise. Kazuya's like, all right, whatever. I'm over this. I gotta go take a shower. In the shower, this man's like, I'm gonna squeeze one out so I can have post-nut clarity. Literally what the show said, which I thought was awesome but hilarious because the show is aware enough to know what post-nut clarity is. And when he gets out, Ruka's got like some hot milk for him. And his face is just like no expressions at all, just dead. And Ruka instantly knows that he jerked it, okay? There's no way she didn't know.
Oh, you squeeze one out? Oh, no.
And he's like, no. So...
Yeah, you say when he gets out of the shower.
Well, that's what took him so long in the shower.
Man, I just picture his blank face.
So they're just hanging out, you know, they're both freshly showered, whatever. Ruka's looking at a TikTok that she made. It got a lot of likes, whatever. So then she goes into her bag and she wants to find like a picture she had took with her friend to show Kazuya. Oh. And literally 2 fucking condoms fell out of her bag. Kazuya's like, oh, condoms. And she covers them and she's like, condoms. I wish I knew how he said it because that's what made it so funny. Condoms. And she's like, she puts her hands over him. She's like, oh, these were, just in case. He literally looks at her and with the lights.
Looks at her, turn off the lights and goes into the
He's kitchen. Like, I'm going to sleep. Goes lay down in this kitchen. But like, should have just smashed, bro. And the next part was pretty interesting, I thought. The kitchen floor sleep scene. He's laying on the floor thinking about literally what just happened. And he's like, man, thank God I squeezed one out in the shower because who knows what would have happened. And as he's laying there, he feels something kind of close up to him, spooning him. And it's Ruka. She left the bed to go spoon his ass on the floor. She's rubbing his back. They kind of show him like slightly get a little stiffy. Like they showed something like pop up in his pants and everything. And she's like,
They did.
I had to rewind it like 3 times because I'm like, ain't no way they just showed this man catching a little half boner. And she's like touching on his stomach and he's freaking out, okay? Fighting all of these internal thoughts that he's having. He opens his eyes and he sees the phone case that Chizuru gave him laying like, you know, next to his face on the floor. Because let's be honest, everyone sleeps with their phone pretty much by their head anyways.
Yes,
I
can agree.
Seeing this phone case snaps his ass back into reality, okay? So he's like, all right. And Ruka starts talking and she's like, Kazuya, I hope you're listening. And she basically says that she gets it. She's like, I can talk the talk, but I'm not attractive enough for you. And she's saying how she isn't as mature as Chizuru. Basically, to me, it kind of seemed like she was trying to down talk herself in order to guilt trip him into doing something a little bit. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Yeah. Like, yes. Like basically down talk yourself so bad so then he would be like, no, I'll fuck you right here, right now. Something like that. I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly enough, but it just seemed like a big giant guilt trip to me. And Kazuya was just hearing this, okay? He turns around and pins her arms to the floor and he's like, not attractive? Are you kidding me? He's like, I want to make you mine right now. First of all, what the fuck does that mean? Does that mean sex? She's already his girlfriend. That has to mean that he wanted to bang her. there.
Me, I was just thinking whenever he gets on top of her, Ruka would have just said, "Oh, so we're doing it now?"
Oh, you don't want to like go to the bed in the kitchen?
Raw dogging it? I see.
Oh, hell no. She better go get those condoms. He's like, I want to make you mine right now. And then he's like, but I don't think that this is love. And I just can't make the next step. Which honestly, that's admirable, right?
Yes.
And he does, however, say that he is happy and how before Ruka, he never had a girl say that she liked him. And he ends this conversation with, so please keep your distance from me tonight because I'm this fucking close to making a huge mistake. And his face right here, he's like biting his lip. It looked like he was taking a big shit. His face is all red and he's like holding in his feelings or his like want to just
his semen
holding in all of his cum. Literally jerking off in the shower did nothing for this man. I have to say that that's pretty admirable of him to be like, I want to smash. Yeah, you are hot as hell, but I'm not in love with you, so I'm not just gonna do it. Like, sure, that means he has to stay a virgin a little longer until Chizuru wants to fuck, but because here's the thing, like, you smash a girl that you don't love, official Animag advice. If you don't love her and she loves you, obviously that is the case here, then feelings kind of get mixed and it just becomes a harder situation than it already is. You don't want to smash a crazy bitch like Ruka who's in love with you and you don't love her and then she gets even more clingy. You know what I'm saying? You're going to walk yourself into a 10 times worse bag of shit than you're already in. After all this, but mommy.
Oh, mommy. Oh, Akira. Oh, Yamato. Oh, Lady Uriichi. The list goes on and on.
Oh my god. We only have room for one lady on my list. Yeah, the bunny girl. Sorry, Chizuru. So, after this whole, like, floor interaction, Ruka, like, gets up. She kind of rolled out from under his arms kind of weird. And she gets up and she kind of stomps back to the bed. So I thought she was mad, but then they show her face and she's all happy and, like, giggling under the blankets. And she's thinking about how Kazuya just said how cute she is. So, like, man, this bitch is toxic, bro. She's doing all this to get a rise. Like, she's doing all this
next morning.
The morning scene was fucking hilarious. So they wake up and Kazuya looks like fucking shit, bro. And Ruka points it out. She's like, hey, good morning. You look like fucking dog shit. Ruka leans in and she says, we can save the sex for another time. Stressing this dude out even more. Like, stop and let this man breathe for a fucking second, please. He's like, huh? Jesus Christ, bro. This is the part that got me, right? On her way out, she's standing by the front door on the front balcony. The door's wide open and she says all loud, thanks for the good time last night, Kazuya. And she's bragging about the night, essentially like saying it towards Chizuru's door, trying to make sure that Chizuru heard. And then she's like, later, she walks away and Kazuya falls to his knees. He's like, looks at Chizuru's door and he's all shocked and scared. And then the credits roll.
Didn't Ruka say something that, oh, I liked it when you took the lead?
She basically tried to make it sound like they had sex. Bro, she's literally trying to get this man into a world of trouble. And then, like, okay, boom, credits roll. And then after the credit rolls, they show Chizuru sitting by her door. She was probably like on her way to throw the trash out because she had a trash bag by her. So she's sitting like against her door. She heard it all. And she kind of looked sad about it because her face was like red and flustered and almost looked like her eyes were kind of watery. I don't know, man. I'm torn. I really don't know if she was like mad or sad.
I don't think it was mad.
I think she was sad. Because, I mean, think about it from her perspective, right? We've already kind of established that Chizuru's definitely getting feelings for Kazuya. And then there's a situation where he had to hide her in his apartment because Mommy randomly showed up. Now there's a situation where you hear Ruka at the front door bragging about how he took the lead and all this. So it's like, how do you still have feelings for that guy when essentially in your head, for as far as you know, he's fucking 2 other girls? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of weird to me. Yeah. And then we get like a small piece of for the next episode segment, and just it was like a play's happening. Kind of looked like some rip-off Power Rangers fighting, but
Power Rangers.
To me it sounded like it was Ruka talking to like Chizuru about what went down at the apartments, because she's like, what's wrong, Mizuhara? Jealous? Hey, let me tell you about our night, or something like that. This wasn't enough to get me excited for the next episode. I honestly think, aside from maybe them having a conversation about what potentially, I think that that's about the most exciting thing, but I'm not super looking forward to the next episode, to be honest. It's kind of sad.
I want to say the next episode is going to be about the other chick.
At this point, I would like to see them bring in Sumi, because next episode's episode 4. We're kind of nearing, mid-season. They got to bring this girl in. Or are they going to do like season 1 and just bring her in at the very fucking end? She gets little to no screen time.
Because as you've seen on the next episode, it's a play that they're doing.
True.
And, Sumi loves plays.
She was.
As we could tell whenever she went watch Chizuru.
Yeah, she was at the first place, so... But I don't know, because they didn't have her, like, saying anything. It was just Ruka and Chizuru talking.
What if Kazuya is one of the Power Rangers? He had to fill the role.
That's what I think happens. I think Ruka and Kazuya are both in the play with Chizuru. That's kind of, to me, how they made it seem. Because in my head, it's Chizuru's one of the Power Rangers, Ruka's one of the other ones, and they're having, like, the fight scene while discussing what happened, the night before. That's just how I took it. I could be severely wrong, but whatever. I think it's going to be a dull episode.
Kazuya's going to be the monster.
So overall, not a bad episode considering that majority of it was ruled by Ruka. It had some enjoyable moments. This show, man, just does it for me. It always makes me feel like I'm going crazy, because like one second I think Mommy's normal, and then I'm like, holy fuck, she's not. She's a little devious plan going on, and then for another second I start feeling bad for Ruka because she always plays this fucking pity party bullshit, and then she's got condoms falling out of her book bag, and she happened to show up on the night of a Category 5 typhoon, and it's like, you're batshit crazy.
God damn.
There's a reason why Chizuru is the queen.
Oh god, what fail?
I threw my pencil in anger. Chizuru is not crazy.
Hit your Chizuru figure.
No, that's in a safe place. I got it in I have that in a glass box.
Oh god.
I didn't want it to get dusty, man. I think I'm gonna give this episode a 7.
A 7?
Yeah, it's about where I'm at for it. To me, it wasn't that exciting. I mean, it had its moments, a couple of funny moments with Ruka, and that was about it for me.
Yeah.
Story progression wise, I mean, honestly, not much moved except for seeing Mommy had a little devious plan going and she wants to know why he's lying to her. But other than that, we have that for story progression, and we have Ruka yelling at Chizuru's door that can get us into the next episode. So everything else in between is just kind of like funny filler to me.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a filler.
I mean, sure, we got Kazuya telling Ruka that he does think she's cute and all this, but that's not story progression to me, at least. Again, to me, that's just filler. Like, we already kind of figured.
It's like they gave us Ruka scene that we already know.
I have to stick this one at a 7, man.
But what's interesting was the mommy part.
Exactly. I like the mommy part. I like the very ending because I want to know how Chizuru is going to react to this. So, I mean, for maybe 3 minutes worth of show, everything else was filler.
Yeah.
Some of it was entertaining filler nonetheless, but still filler.
Yeah, but same. I'm going to go with a 6.
A 6? Okay. Okay, man. That's the first 6 of the season. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Man.
It just, because I watched it first, and then I rewatched it to take notes.
That's how I've been doing it. I watch it fully through, so I don't have to keep pausing and typing a note or whatever. I watch the whole thing to the end, think about it for the rest of that night, and then the next day, I watch it so I can I kind of, instead of typing notes for every little detail, I know where I can kind of segment my notes.
Yeah, you watch it first to see what's the key important parts.
So
which was the mommy part.
The classroom scene.
The apartment.
The apartment had smaller details to look into, just for you guys listening to enjoy hearing about condoms falling out of her bag and shit. But the fact that they showed her TikTok that had 88,000 likes, that's kind of pointless. That's definitely filler.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be kind of like Chizuru. She's aiming to be a famous TikToker.
Exactly. I think,
but no, it just turns out to be a random video that her and her friends did.
Exactly. But what if they work that into the story where Ruka just starts blowing the fuck up? You know what I'm saying? Because to me, he saw the likes, and he's like, oh cool, 88,000 likes, fire. And it kind of gave them a small bonding moment right there. But what if it goes bigger than that? She blows up on TikTok, gets famous, and then he's like, Chizuru, you're out. I only want the popular girls.
80,000, small numbers. Pulls out his phones, bam, 100K.
Come on, man. I got some videos on TikTok with a couple 100K likes. Let's go. I'm more popular than Ruka. But anyways, I mean, we're just gonna have to sit and wait for Friday. I hope it's not a dull episode.
I hope.
I'm getting fearful though. I don't want this show to be boring because then I'm not gonna want to watch it, because every other show that I'm watching right now has been killing it, bro. Engage Kiss, fire.
Damn.
Oh yeah, super good anime, guys. I don't know if we're gonna fucking wind up doing a review on it, but if you get a chance, check it out. It's currently airing, so I think they're on episode 4 right now. Get into that, because it's fire. Super fire. And then, what else? Classroom of the Elite. That's kind of meh.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's not as hype as I thought it was gonna be. It kind of plateaus around episode 5.
Yeah.
So, unless something major happens, that's just gonna be ass. I'm about to finish Scarlet Nexus. I got a lot that I'm watching. Oh,
right now.
Started watching Citrus.
Citrus.
Yeah, it's an anime about essentially lesbians.
Oh God,
I think it says that in the description, but it's pretty good, and the intro rocks for it.
So far, the only 2 I've been watching. I was on 3, but my brother took control of One Piece. But right now, I'm on D. Greyman Hollow. I'm like on episode 108.
Golly!
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Like, there was one night I stayed up all night watching it. It's like you put it down and then you're like, man, I wonder what fucking happens next. And then the second one is The Devil is a Part-Timer.
Oh, I was about to start that actually.
Season 2, it's freaking, season 1 was great.
Okay. I might have to hop in, watch a couple episodes after this and see. But I don't know. I might fucking finish Classroom of the Elite. Just get it out the way.
Yeah.
I don't want to I don't want to not finish it, but at the same time, like, I don't want to watch the rest because it's just starting to get pretty boring. I'll finish it for the sake of writing a shitty review about it. So anyways, guys, that is this week's episode. We hope you enjoyed. And until next time, remember to take it easy and so long, everybody.
Sayonara. Thank you for listening. Be sure to check out our website at www.animag.org. Until next time, see ya.